Gay men are craving deeper connections. All right, so I have 4 comments. The first one, I'm attractive, I make good money, everything seems fine from the outside, but I am so alone. I can't build connection and trust anyone. Comment number 2, I am attractive, I don't need to do anything as my genetics are amazing, but I'm lonely. I get all the eye contact I want, but I can't find a partner in a mutual way. Comment number 3, some people say I am attractive and yet it doesn't mean a lot in real life. I wish I knew how to make friends in this community regardless of looks. And then comment number 4, if every gay man is complaining about being single, which is so much the truth, and not finding companionship, who then is in an actual relationship? The amount of complaints I see is just alarming. I completely agree, and clearly gay men are craving deep connections, or at least y'all that follow me, watch me, and are in my comments, and myself included. We're craving deep connections. So why are so many of us single? Why are so many of us lonely? And why is it so hard for us to find each other? These are questions that I'm thinking about and pondering. Download the guided journal. Let's get into it. First of all, I want to start with getting your minds working for yourselves before I start telling you my opinions and what I think. So I listed off 8 different things. I want you to mark which ones resonate with you. I'll read the first 2. The question is, again, why are so many of us single? Why are so many of us lonely, and why is it so hard for us to find each other? Is it because we've been hurt or betrayed before, so we keep ourselves guarded? Is it because we confuse attention and attraction with real connection? And then there are 6 other ones. Again, I want you all to personally look at these and figure out what resonates most with you. I make these journals so that they feel personal to you. I'm like walking through them with you, but I want you to think about yourself and mark what actually resonates with you. All right, so let's get clear. That process may make you a little uncomfortable, but that is, again, a part of the process. But my intention is to leave you feeling loved, passing off empathy, and then also ultimately to empower you to be the change that you wish to see. So let's focus on being that change. And I think the main problem is that many of us need to go outside. Yeah, I think, I know it might sound funny, I know it might sound simple, but if I'm being completely honest, I think a lot of us stay way too far apart from each other, even though we are in close proximity. Whether that be in the actual physical house or when you're outside, you're constantly seeing or bombarded with people, but nobody's actually connecting. Nobody's talking to each other. Everybody's staring at their screens. So when I say go outside, I mean go outside with intention. Like, don't just go outside to just be outside. Don't just go to the bars to go to the bars. Don't do the same thing that you're doing. We need to break the cycle and go out with intention. So I have a couple questions to get you thinking a little bit deeper. Ask yourself, when was the last time I left my house with intention to connect, not to just be seen or distracted? Question number 2, do I create space for new connections when I'm out, or do I move through the world guarded, rushed, and preoccupied? Like I said, preoccupied. Even sometimes I have to remind myself, wait a minute, take a second, take a breath, look at the stars, go touch some grass, go hug a tree, go for a run with my dog, just to kind of take me out of this loop and this cycle that we all get sucked into. I like to call it the rat race, but choose whatever word you would like. So in addition to going outside and leading with intention and not just being a zombie on your phone and doing the same thing that you've always done expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity, I think that the next change that we all could do is start creating third spaces. So third spaces are places that aren't home or work. They're informal, welcoming environments where people can simply exist, connect, and build community. So think coffee shops, living rooms, park benches, open mics, book clubs, potlucks. We need to start doing this for ourselves. I know it can be hard to be the only one that feels like, well, I know it can be hard to feel like you're the only one that's doing the work that wants this, but trust me, as you see in the comment section below, well, not this one, but in many of my videos, which is why I talk a lot about connection and loneliness and belonging and love and empathy, that's what we're all craving. So if there's this many people commenting on videos, reaching out to me, talking to each other in the comment section about this, there is enough of us. There is plenty of us, I feel like, out there that are feeling these same things. You just have to have the courage to go find them. You have to have the courage to try to do something different. That's at least what I believe. Another big thing I think for many of us is once we've aged out of the nightlife and we're not chasing hookups anymore, a lot of us are wondering where we go next. Like, where do we find people that we connect with? And I mean, I personally like to connect with people that have similar life experiences as I do, specifically because I struggle. I have a hard time being a black, feminine, gay black man in certain spaces. And to be able to have a friend or a community or people around me that are going through the same thing, which I've experienced before, oh my God, it makes things so much easier. It helps you, it gives you different perspectives, which again is why I say, talk to me on my website in the forums, because what you say, you have no idea how your voice, how you say it, bringing it to the table, how that can change and impact people. I say that, all that to say, I would not be doing this or be doing YouTube if it wasn't for me, my younger gay version of myself. My younger self, this is what I use, was YouTube to help me to come out of the closet, help me to have the courage to be able to do it, because nobody in my vicinity was doing it confidently. I actually did have a gay uncle, but nobody talked about it. It was like a secret. Nobody said anything about it. He didn't have a partner. He didn't talk about being gay, and I didn't know or talk about it until after he passed away, unfortunately. And to be able to see people on YouTube living their truth, talking about their experiences, that helped me so much. Your voice matters. So if you're not struggling and you figured it out, tell us how you figured it out. Or if you are struggling, just even talking about what is hard for you can help someone to be like, hey, I'm not alone. That is a part of being a great community member. All right, moving forward, we don't have to wait for someone else to create these spaces. We can start small. One couch, one shared meal, one walk in the park with a friend who's also lonely. A third space doesn't have to be public, big, or polished. It just needs to feel safe, consistent, and real. This is so true. I literally was just messaging with someone on Jack that is going to allow me to interview them. And I do these, like, I almost want to call them reverse interviews, and it's more so like check-ins in the community, because sometimes I get stuck in my own world and it's not a utopia, even though I think some people think that because I practice solo polyamory, so I have more than one partner, that means I must live in a utopia and I never have issues or problems. No, baby, that means I sometimes have more issues and problems than you do, because let's just say, for example, all my partners are having issues with me, or all my partners need my help or support, or I can't be there for all of them. That's really stressful. So do not think I live in a utopia. But I say all that to say, I try to get back into the community, and a lot of you use these dating apps because that's how you connect with each other. So I'm on those dating apps, I'm asking questions, I'm trying to connect, and I'm also trying to meet with people in person, because I think that is crucial. I think that's what a lot of us need, is that in-person connection, that you don't feel judgment, you feel safe, and the consistency and the realness is there. So I say all that to say, you have the power to do that as well. I talk more, like, I think in the full version of this journal about how to do that. But all that to say, again, one couch, one shared meal, one walk in the park, that's all that it takes. That's all you have to do, especially for those of you that are just looking for connection. Get on those apps. Stop being afraid. Try a different strategy. I created a previous video. I cannot remember the title of it off the top of my head, but I will have my editor to pop that up somewhere on the screen. And I talked a little bit about how on these profiles that I'm on, actively right now seeking connection and friendship, not hookups, and it does happen for me actively right now, and I do meet up with people actively and right now, because I feel like that's hard for a lot of you to believe. I structure my profile very simply, very specifically, and I just ask an engaging question, and that helps people to kind of spark some thoughts in their head. And I can tell right off the bat if someone actually read my profile or didn't, and that kind of leads me into how this interaction is gonna go. It helps me to kind of like filter through people. But that is explained in that video, so if you want more information on that, check that video out. Next, which third spaces resonate with you? So I gave you 8 different ideas. I want you to kind of think of how these spaces could be different. They don't have to necessarily be, like I said earlier, public, big, and polished. It can be on your couch. It can be just a Sunday dinner. It can be listening to music and drinking wine, which is one of my favorite things to do. If you like to do that, you need to talk to me, because yeah, I need to find friends that love to do that too. R&B music and some wine, that's my go-to. All right, next, we need to start building these spaces ourselves. Again, I'm going to reiterate that. And then for those of you that have contradictions, or you don't agree with this, or you have different ideas or a different perspective, again, I invite you to log onto my website and talk to us in the forum, because again, what you say, you don't know how that will change someone's perspective on anything, including mine, because I'm not the only one experiencing what we're experiencing. Moving forward, I think a lot of us need to start gaining the courage to do this. Not just the courage to show up, but to initiate, to invite, to create. It takes bravery to be the one who texts first, hosts first, or opens up first. But the truth is, most people are just waiting for someone else to make the first move. What if that someone was you? And I think this is a big point too. It takes a lot of courage, and I'm not underestimating the courage that it takes to put yourself out there, which I'm going to talk about next. Rejection is a real thing, and that's hard for some of us to deal with. And then also being in this pool where and so hypersexual, kind of going out there and trying to do it by yourself and doing it time and time again and getting rejection or getting just sexual messages or just nudes or videos or things like that, it can get discouraging. I'm here to motivate you and uplift you. Again, I'm living proof that, again, what's today? Wednesday. So literally this Friday, I'm meeting up with someone that I just connected with, and again, they're letting me interview them, but it's a possibility. And I think that, again, I'm trying to guide you guys through what I do and how I do what I do, because I think all you need to do is take that first step and continue to put yourself out there. And I think the apps are just an easy way of doing that. I think also just going to certain spaces and being in certain spaces consistently and talking to the staff there consistently, figuring out what the events are, and start going to these events, going to game cafes. Again, I just made another video about talking about going to different places to meet people, and that was more so on a romantic level, but you can also use that for a platonic level. I'll also have my editor add that thumbnail above so that you can watch that video as well if you're interested in that. But being the first person, again, it takes a lot of courage, so I never want to underestimate that. And speaking of what gets in the way, rejection is real and it hurts, but it's not a reflection of your worth. Most of the time, it says more about where someone is than about who you are. If you let the fear of rejection stop you, you might be blocking the deep connection that's just one moment away. So, with that being said, you guys know I love creating assessments for you to figure out and to gauge where you are specifically. So this one is titled, Is Rejection Stopping Me from Being Seen? Again, it's just 9 questions. The first section is about shame, belonging, and the courage to be vulnerable. The next one is about love as action, truth-telling, and spiritual growth. And then the last section is about self-sabotage, internal blocks, and personal transformation. So after you take that and you kind of get a gauge of where you are at and how you are feeling in regards to, is it getting in my way? I want you to come back to this and start thinking about how you can push past that, how you can have the courage to go past that. At least for me, the biggest thing that I do to get past rejection or to push past rejection, which yes, I do get rejected. I know that might be hard for some of you to believe, but whenever it happens, I always try to remind myself that everybody is choosing. Just like I chose to put this do-rag on instead of not wearing a do-rag, even though I'm bald-headed underneath this. I chose to put on this silver chain. I chose to wear a black tank top. I just chose to get a tattoo. That's what this is. We are all choosing, but just because someone doesn't choose you doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means you haven't found that alignment yet. Keep going, keep choosing, because it's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen. If there's people like you with a kind, big, empathetic heart like yours, there's other people out there just like myself. If me and you are having this conversation, me and you are connecting, and again, people are talking in the comment section below, it's only a matter of time before you run into another person. Think about where you're going. You need to stop doing the same thing. Like I said, y'all need to get outside. I'm sorry, I keep scratching my leg because it's itchy. But you need to get outside. You need to do something different. You need to shake up your routine. Maybe you need to get out of your city. Maybe you need to travel more. Do the things you need to do if this is important to you and this feeling is intense for you and you are ready for a connection. Get out of your comfort zone. For those of you that are interested in the full journal, I'll have this on my website or link down below, or probably both. But all that to say, I dig in a little bit deeper to more things that get into the way. And as you can see, I don't necessarily read all the things. I just kind of want to do like an overview and just present it to you. And then to also just start and spark the conversation, because sometimes it's just one person saying, this is something I'm feeling, this is what's going on. And then we all can talk about it and be like, me too. And then start thinking about resolutions and thinking about who did what and how did you get past it. I try my best to do that. I hope you guys are feeling that intention. If not, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I need to do better. But in the full version, I dig a little bit deeper into one, hyperfixating on sex or attraction and how that can like hinder your experience and how you can miss people. I also dig into being kind on the apps. I think that that's a big thing as well. If you're someone that has experienced intense feelings of loneliness, how are you showing up on these apps? Are you rejecting people just as much as you are getting rejected? Are you talking and connecting with everybody? Are you reaching out to people? Are you just in general being a kind, empathetic person? Because if you're being a kind, empathetic person in the community, it just seems really challenging for me to understand why you are not making connections. So I hit on a couple other topics, just reiterating getting outside, and then also just flexing that muscle on how, you start meeting with one person and then you meet up with another person, and then you can bring all those people together. And then next thing you know, you have your own little third space, your own little community. Also interacting on these apps differently. I think that's a big, crucial thing and a really big opportunity for those of you, again, like I said, that are feeling that loneliness, is how are you showing up on these apps? Let's be more intentional about that as well. I think being intentional about everything, especially if these feelings are making you uncomfortable, will lead you and guide you to a better place. Like I said, I'm going to link all this stuff down below, and I hope that I did to the best of my ability was to leave you feeling love, bring empathy to you, and make you feel empowered to be the change that you wish to see. I know that I will. I try my best to do it every day. I love you all. Take care. Again, remember to be the change you wish to see.